detained. Have to eat on a timer. Let's see. We've got here chicken pepper whole moon dal with jeera rice. So many hot stuff. And this is us with greens. Greens in public places, they're normally really, really good. Today I've asked for salt and pepper to just, yesterday I just managed it. These guys will do things on a timer. You have to be very careful when people are doing things on a timer because they'll be assessed by their managers. So it can get very tricky when you're in services like this. I'll put pressure on you. I didn't get my dessert yet because not enough hands. But I had to come eat in my room today because I'm asking for hot water. I don't drink very strong tea. So I wanted to get my own jug with hot water so that I can be refreshing my tea on my own. But in this place, it's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh no, it's okay. Oh, I'm a responsible adult. This place is very limiting. I don't know whoever raised this false concern. Okay, let's give the benefit of the doubt that the mental health people, let's say they're not innocent here and they're just looking into, let's say there's no criminal activities and they've just done a safeguarding on someone who's independently living in their own property, not harming anyone. Even if someone, let's say anyone in my block of flats decided to record me or something, or to call someone to say this person is a danger. Let's say I wasn't watching anything on TV and I just started screaming and shouting. You don't live with me, you're not in there. Let's say no videos were sent. Is it okay for someone to just pick up a phone and start reporting things? And people who are professionals actually arrive, find you on your own, living on your own. There's no weapons that they can see. You actually tell them, please come around the other way. I'll let you in the other way. And then when they arrive the other way, you say, okay, can I speak to you while you're standing on my patio? Because you're still on my property. And they force themselves in. They say, no, we want to come inside and see. Fine, they've got inside. When you're professionals like that, and then you come inside and you see that I'm alone, and then people actually discuss amongst themselves, this woman is not violent. You sit down and you start asking me things. The very fact that I say I was trained to use a gun, my grandfather and I were shooting at birds, we were hunting. If I say to you that I've got that sort of experience, and I say, but there's no weapon here, I'm not a danger to anyone. I'm not trying to go hunting right now. I've just taken pictures because they say they've been on my social media. So I said, okay, fair enough. I do have pictures online, but I don't think they watched the context of that video. So even though I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, I'm struggling here because I don't think, if you look at the context of it, and even if I ever angrily said something, I've not acted on it. I've not acted on it. So why am I here? Why did people make the effort? Key workers, the multidisciplinary team, why did people make the effort? I think there should be some sort of guard on who can say what about someone else. And there needs to be a follow-up on when people have raised a safeguarding on somebody else, look into that person too. What's going on there? For someone else to be looking into someone else. But if the origin, okay, fine, let's now come back to the between 4 o'clock and 5 a.m. I had been working through the night on my cash apps, trying to hit a deadline. I've now realized that the app, one of the apps I was working on, possibly is a fake app. I have to check my emails. If there's a response there, then maybe it's not. but I've just uninstalled it so that I can work on other apps. Should I get a response? Because with Bitcoin and Cash apps, these guys can also communicate with you and update you. So it would be a matter of me reloading the app and or just checking my PayPal to see that money has actually gone in, because I've been stuck on 99.99 waiting for the 0.001p or cent to get into the to be added on, and I keep getting rewards of 0.002 being added on but not reflecting on the total amount. So I decided, no, let me uninstall it and park it for a bit. So I've been working on this Cash app for a few days, and that total is just not accumulating. Hello, husband. I can see your text messages coming in, my darling. I'm going to respond. Okay. I've seen your message, sweetheart. Okay, so considering this situation, that between 4 and 5 a.m. I was starting to fall asleep while I was sitting on my couch. I deliberately set up everything in my living room so that I wouldn't just fall asleep on the bed while I'm trying to, discern which way this app is going. So I've come back onto my gimmick games, which directly remunerate into my PayPal. So far, the other Cash app, which I was going to get money on, it got hacked, it got disabled quickly. I couldn't even retrieve anything. So anyway, this is the meal that's before me with my green beans. We're going to try this out. So, given anyway, don't mind the spoon. I didn't pick up a fork. I have to go back there quickly because these people are on a timer. We don't want to rock the boat too much. People's tempers in these places can go from 0 to 100. You do excuse me. I'm not used to eating on camera, but we have to get over it, I suppose. Even when I was younger, I used to struggle. I used to end up just chit-chatting with my friends at the table, and then I'll eat a little bit. It wasn't too bad. I lost a lot of weight every time I went to boarding school. It wasn't too bad. Plus running marathons, wow. In the forest. Didn't want to get left in the forest. So I'm already losing weight anyway. I was already starting to monitor what I was eating when I was back in my flat. So I've lost a bit of weight. But here, eating with people on a timer, yeah, I guess maybe I will lose more weight. Anyway, I'll be happier cooking my own food and stuff. So decisions to detain people. Now, the final decision that we were on yesterday was how to manage the stress of living next door to these neighbors. I was managing. I did not call mental health services for support. They've been calling me, we've been talking, but they can't manage that situation. It's a police situation. People they work with, the ambulance crew, have acknowledged this is a police situation. Do you know when you're going through it, when they come and present their paperwork in their numbers and they want to get into your flat? Me, I can get easily claustrophobic. So I stand back from crowds. I refuse to be standing near them. I said, it's okay, I can stand in the doorway. And then one of the elderly doctors said, no, that it's cold. Can you close the door? Then I had to step back inside. I had to be considerate of the guest. He's the one who then decided, as soon as he asked me about, what about the guns? He then decided to be the one who sections me. He decided to take away my rights. So I was left afterwards with the police trying to tidy up my flat so that I lock the doors while I'm being taken away unwillingly. But I'm not going to be roughed up as if I'm some sort of criminal to be taken into the mental health place. When they come for you, they have this mindset already decided, to be honest. So yes, he decided to be the one who expresses it, but I think they will have already decided it. an independent team. I think there needs to be some sort of limits that they observe as safeguarding independent teams, because this is the second time and it's playing into these people's plans to try and get me killed in here. I posted a video earlier. I had a very scary experience when the other patients actually erupted. Everyone was waiting for the doctor. I didn't realize what it was, but it just escalated 0 to 100. Well, maybe it was already in motion, but I was only going there. I realized it was after 10, and that's when the doctors come to the ward. And the things that the other doctor from yesterday we discussed and I was expecting has not been done. So, I don't know. This is the same thing that they were saying that in the community, the nurse was saying, I'm not engaging. But I've spoken to her 3 times. I spoke to her when she was telling me I'm going on holiday. Her colleague then decided to call me while she was on holiday. I was driving to the airport when she called me, and I even offered, yeah, I might just take you to the airport. Do you know the missing link of that? I was asking her for a discharge letter. Only when I was in here, around 5 o'clock, I'm scrolling through my emails looking for that discharge letter from the other ward. And I see she was copied into that email. I'm beginning to think she knew. So when she was saying she's opting in, was she deciding to just overlook that? Because these people tried to diagnose me with schizophrenia. That's the next level. You have to have looked into the blood work, into the neurological function and whatnot, sometimes genetics. You don't easily diagnose someone with something like that. And then they downgraded it to delusions about the neighbor. Where a police officer has been in there, heard the reasons why the person had called the police on me, and came out saying, no, do you know what? That person has mental health issues. This is an NHS matter. I can't be dealing with someone like that. Those are the sort of people who are making regular calls about me. And that's why I'm in this place. Can you imagine? When I tried to have a conversation with that woman, actually, I wasn't even trying. I just stepped out onto my patio and I was sitting outside having fresh air. The woman comes out to speak with me, 2020, 2021. And she starts talking about how, oh, she's married to her husband and they own the flat, blah, blah, blah. More recently, okay, me, I've just been calling them criminals. And when the man decided to own up, to confess, he shouted, standing on his patio. And sorry, it's not even his patio. Because in 2024, 2023, I found out these guys were squatters. And then roll on a few years, now I'm finding out that actually they were placed in there by someone who just hates me. We've not met in person. She just hates me because I was on a stage at some point. So she hired assassins. They're assassins. But they've not been able to reach me while I'm in my flat. While I live in my flat, because I always come back. Even when my doors are unlocked, they can't access me. The reason she gave that officer, who then says she's a mental health patient, is that she prays too much. Now I can't do anything to this woman. Because Anna apparently knows how to induce sleep paralysis on people. My food is getting cold. Apparently she knows how to induce sleep paralysis on people. Whether it's so that she can kill or beat up or with a criminal partner, rape, I don't know. Because apparently these things have happened in their flat. They've raped men. It's possible people do not report these things because they'll be thinking, how will I explain that I was raped by another man? Those are things that they do. Those are things that scientists have explained as sleep paralysis. If someone can use hypnosis to try and help someone in their professional capacity, this spoon is too big, honestly. I'm just going to have to brave it. The very same sort of things that can be used and registered, certified practice to help someone unpack and correct thoughts. Someone who has that capability has to be monitored, regulated, updating their skills and so on, and reporting to a governing board to do no harm, right? I think these things come as laws develop so that people are not harmed in the community, right? If we look back into the history of England, 1920s Coventry situation, there were people who were professing to be Christians but practicing paganism. And so sometimes they took advantage of other people who were vulnerable to their skills. And then the community started revolting and hunting them down and burning them because they were taking advantage of people. So people started believing less in Christianity because there were people who were sheep in wolves' clothing, preying on vulnerabilities of other people. So where you have someone who knows how to do such things as sleep paralysis on other people to cause harm. And then now in 2026, where books are even on shelves, even in 2025, 2024, there are even books on shelves about spell work and stuff. I don't know anyone who does it in a good way, but I know there's children's programs where they say these ones are good witches, these ones are okay, these ones are bad. Me, I don't really know it professionally, so I'm not here to mock anyone's beliefs and whatnot. But I'm just saying sometimes you need to look at who is raising concerns about somebody else. What are they saying? Because under the Mental Health Act of 1983, raising false concerns, it's illegal. I'm sure there's a clause I can find. It's averting justice. And this is not the first time she's done it. She lied that Zubia Francis moved out of that property a month before the officers, like Officer Megan Dunn, attended, and her partner. I can't remember the other officer's name. I only remember hers because she gave me her email address. So I sent her some evidence. I haven't heard from her. Apparently cases can take a while, but hey, wow. I wish this was dealt with speed because I'm not the only one at risk. People die because of these people. The only other thing that's tricky about, sorry officer, but they've expressed it in there. I know actually say it because you look alike. Although me, I'm very attentive, I can tell the difference. She said she wants to apply for a job as an officer. This woman is so harmful. Me, we're very different, but she said she wants to replace me. So she went to Forward in Faith Community Church, dressed in pants similar to mine. Came back and was so rude. For the first time, she buzzed my door and called me bitch face. Immediately, something happened to my eyes. I won't lie. Witchcraft can be real. And I think my eyes have been restored somewhat. Because I actually felt like my eyes were, I was getting cross-eyed. But by God's grace, I think they've been restored. So, however, she did say she had broken my glasses. But they've discussed it in there. Using laser technology, perhaps. The handle, the one that I was using that was still in good sight. So I started using a pair that I last got in 2016. Thank goodness I still had it anyway, but it's all scratched up. My eyesight apparently has gone down a notch. This pair is still quite good and clear, but it's still risky. I I should be wearing my updated ones. I've even got a video of the other pairs put together. These people have been doing a lot, burgling my flat, taking things, apparently doing rituals on them, and then hiding them somewhere. Then if I look for them for a second time, that's when they'll return them. Then I change my locks. Yeah, these special spoons I have. Anyway, so yeah, we really need to look into in the NHS. I think is I'm very concerned about who gets to say what about you, because they try to blame my family. I'm not living with them. My family was being used previously. Apparently, Zubia was claiming that he was calling my family to just suddenly attend on my patio, trying to incriminate them in this criminal situation to cover up for his atrocities. I've heard my family mention that they were intimidated into almost bullying me. I put a stop to it. I told them, no, I'm reporting this for reporting you for trespassing. You shouldn't have listened to them to direct you onto my patio. I was not happy with you being here because I needed to make a safe distance from them. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, people don't understand you. I'm quite a private person, introverted. And there's a lot of information that they're now finding out because of the hacking and exposure. And there's a lot of information that they've been disclosing through that live audience. But I think at this stage, they must have some sort of security to be running away from these criminals. Because I'd rather it help me putting that bold stance, to distance myself from them. It's really helped me to see a little bit clearer that they're also at risk. But I couldn't be huddling with them because it was clouding a lot of things. It was almost like we were fighting each other. But I already knew I was already fighting a much bigger battle, much more sinister situation. I don't want them involved. And then what do I find out? The girl we used to live with, Helen Mashonganyika, a mental health nurse, apparently knows Subia Francis. And much to Hannah's shock too, as the story goes. I don't know if it's true or not. Helen Mashonganyika was assigned to assess Hannah in Flat 4 Oak House. On arrival, I don't know how she found out that Subia knows her already. And Hannah said to him, you're going to have to sleep with her. Otherwise, she's going to catch us out. You have to have something over her. So, that relationship is dangerous for me. It's dangerous for my family too. So now I address them as my former family while keeping a distance. Because in the near future, while I'm getting myself sorted, perhaps I'll be much freer to communicate with them again. But for now, I still have to keep the safe distance because I don't know what is done to threaten them, for them to continue to participate somehow in that live audience. But thankfully, sometimes They're saying positive things about me. It's just that I would not want my positivity shared. Some of the stuff I'm discovering too late. I'm now a very grown adult. I'm discovering things about how they knew to hide my skills, my giftings from a very young age to protect me, apparently, from their perspective. It's subjective. Because considering what I'm going through, you can argue it from different points of views, but okay, fair enough. Because now, when it's being discovered in that live audience, which is predominantly against me, I think it is quite courageous to some extent, because most people who are joining it, even if they liked me before, that live audience is being groomed to hate me, to pronounce negative things about me. And if you see the other YouTube video that I shared there was a philosopher who was sharing how negative energy affects our bodies. So I often reject negativity and pronounce positive things. Sometimes I say jokingly to people, I love myself. Look at me. Just as I am, I love myself. I may not be Miss Universe, but I love myself. I really love myself. Because you have to love yourself. People only approach you from your point of view. And you know what? This is what these criminals have capitalized on. Knowing the power of positivity, they've employed more of the audience to be people who are hateful, people who are harmful, sexual predators. When it gets late lately, after midnight, the children come online. Teenagers looking to see a woman being abused and not reacting. 2 nights ago when I reacted, when I moved, they were like, no, because they were enjoying the show. I had one woman sit next to me, a Caucasian woman. She came and sat next to me in the mall. And she was saying, let me show them that this stuff is not harmful. Let me sit here. Let them also do that to me. Let them voyeurize me. And I'll show everyone that this is not harmful. So 2 seconds that you experience that, you say it is not harmful. I ignored it. I walked away. There was no way I was going to agree with that. Because on one hand, they're filming it for entertainment. On the other hand, I woke up this morning feeling as if something was lodged with jaws into my hip. And it's not always like a sexual assault. Because once Zubia was lying to people that, oh, this girl doesn't know what to do with a man, so I'm trying to train her. People of the earth, think. If you've ever had that excuse, you should have escalated. And especially if you think I am a mental health patient, you should have escalated. That is harm. I've seen on the news there's a woman who's been recently arrested. She was taking care of someone in her 40s and being abusive towards her. If you've ever heard Zubia explain himself, Patience Mutize, you've been helping him explain reasons. Lynette Verum, you spoke to Dr. Yuna, saying that I think he's just in love with her because of the way he sexually violates her. He just doesn't know how to talk to her. All these lies you people are describing to make each other comfortable to join into the live audience or to seek support. You are all accomplices of attempted murder. Because this guy goes to the extent of trying to violate my pelvic bone, trying to weaken my bones all round. It's an attack on my fertility. And you already know Lynette Ferramo because you assigned him as an assassin. You had your child, eh? But you don't want me to have children. Batum, what's your own? You've had yours. I'm not taking yours. You stole the man. It didn't work out. Well, I guess your motive, everything worked out for you actually. Because you didn't want to be married. You just wanted to kill him and get the wealth. Fine. You are still getting access to the wealth somehow. Because those criminals are still there. And now you have a whole live audience you are streaming to. While you sit in the Zimbabwean beautiful sun. Hey. Tell you what. There's nothing enjoyable about being abused over and over. It's actually quite criminal to dismiss someone's pain and saying, oh, it's not that much. When they use this advanced medical appliance technology for harm, medical appliance technology like magnetic resonance imaging is used to scan bodies so that they can see what needs to be repaired. But you mustn't go in there with metal. There are risks there. So if someone is developing technology like that, to scan people, to scan a whole area, if they then develop, they're already filming, they then get a videographer, develop the technology to be filming, adding drone technology, to be able to use their cameras and seen to the public eye, as if there's some sort of army base who can track flights in the air, as if they have radars to track who's coming, who's where. So I've given an example. Doctors are trained to use these machines and so on. And then they train their assistants. They have to qualify, they have to be certified to use that equipment so that they're not harming other people. Sometimes they'll tape your metal, tape your earrings, tape whatever it is so that it doesn't harm you. If you're going to the radiologist, you have to cover the sensitive organs. You have to wear that heavy clothing to cover sensitive organs from radiation. Because it can be very harmful to your body. Women, we have to make sure we're not pregnant. We have to cover the ovaries. If you're using laser technology, it corrects eye surgery very easily. If you do it privately, it's very, very expensive. If you need to do it within the NHS, it can be quite a wait. So this security guard working on the NHS has had access to people who perhaps had brief discussions. Maybe he just pretended to be interested. Because this guy said to me every time he greeted me, he was looking for an opportunity to access me. And so living right next door has not been opportune enough for him to access me so that he can kill me. Hannah describes it as too prayerful, I can't access her. They work as a tag team. So if you've ever gone in there and had sexual encounters or eventually been raped, it's a team effort. You've actually probably done your sexual encounter thing as a sacrificial thing on the agenda. Because some people use sex rituals for witchcraft purposes, for criminal purposes. And perhaps you've even left with a sexual health disease. Please go and get checked. It's never too late. As long as you're still breathing, go and get checked. They'll follow their protocols to try and make sure the virus is disarmed from your body. The unfortunate thing is, if you've been living freely, having one night stands here and there, when you go for your sexual health test, we're going to advise you to contact all those people that you're with to advise them or to get checked out. Actually, what they do now is they take down the names, then they contact them. It would be better if you also listen to the blow, because people can hate you if you don't want them. That I'm being checked out for this. And sometimes I've seen someone, that's where those hate crimes happen. When someone can break into your flat and start filming you, because they feel that you've destroyed their lives. I'm just saying, try to protect yourself, take care of yourself. I think with sexual health diseases, while you're getting treatment, they can advise you to abstain. Some people within the gang apparently are trying to mess each other up because of they having similar sexual health diseases. Please follow the protocol you're being told. It's not necessarily that easy, because you're already in a very sensitive place, biologically down there, sexually down there. Some of these viruses were created to destroy people. You have to be very careful. There was a lot of biological warfare being used back in the day. Let's just say back in the day. We're not going to go into a history lesson. We're already here now. And other people will talk about history. Those are the uncomfortable things that you don't want to talk about. Anyway. I'm very comfortable. I can talk about it and still love people of all nations. But I know they're sensitive viewers. You can easily turn it into something else. Let me go and get my dessert. My husband is actually from a different ethnic background, so I'm not sensitive like that, but I appreciate that it can be very difficult. Anyway, let me stop this recording. What I was saying is that when clinicians are approaching people because of concerns, general concerns, it's good to also look into the people who are raising these concerns. What are the motives behind it, the intent? And not just go into historical notes, because even when I was here before, I thought it was my family, but it wasn't from them. They were being intimidated to be following me up. But actually, my family tried to reach out to me while I was here, and I was refusing to talk to them. I was refusing to engage totally because I thought it was them. When I was released, I get back to the community. I find out actually, Subia is laughing that I'm the one who sent them there. And then that's when they revealed they're trying to do it again, because they've been trying to kill me while I'm in my flat. It's not happening. When I go into the community, they trigger certain people who are in the gang to come towards me aggressively. In 2024, I remember struggling to get a few clothes when Lucy Chilongo gave me my money back. I went to get some clothes, and there were girls being taught spell work. They were coming around me in places like Primark, a public place. Caucasian girls, they were coming around me, trying to do this over my head, trying to do this. Thank God, though, for his mercies. His rain falls on the sinners and the wicked. And the pure. So even if people were being taught to come at me after being told I've been wicked or whatever, God's grace is still abundant for me too. But these people are very cruel to me. Whatever experiences they've had in the past, things like Hannah saying that she's been abused when she was growing up because her family gave her into experiments. Do you know, sometimes I was saying earlier that I had sporting events with children who were from disability backgrounds, who could not speak, who could not hear, but they were very gifted. They played netball in a very admirable way. Until you ticked them off and they slapped someone, that's when you'd be like, hey, I don't want to be on that field, please. Please, oh, I'll skip this. I'll skip this one. I'll play with the other. But when they're in motion, those girls were good. I won't lie. If there was some way of training them not to become violent, that Zim team would be banging. We'd win the World Cups every year. I tell you, those girls were good. You drink water when you're watching them. Like, yes, you salute them. But where Hannah says her family gave her up into experiments. When people go into experiments nowadays, there are laws that govern how you go into it, how you progress. Even your tutors, when you're a degree student, let's go together. When you're a degree student, they have to actually assess and see. Your tutor has to look into how you're coming up with your theory, your literature review. They have to be thorough, assess everything very thoroughly. You have to assess everything so thoroughly, ever so thoroughly. You can't just, you have to do pilot studies sometimes if you don't have the participants and stuff. But if you have participants, you have to talk to them, tell them what you're doing. They have to consent, they have to agree that, okay, yes, I have understood. You've told me what you're doing, and yes, I want to be a part of it. They have to sign some paperwork. You have to do a follow-up study. If you do a pilot, you must try and get some participants. It depends on your leniency, on your level. If your tutor doesn't think you're that capable, sometimes you might think you're getting away with something. But if they don't think you're that capable and they're not pushing you, some people may think their tutors were cruel. You don't understand. They may have seen your potential. So if then you decided to forfeit pursuing a higher grade, they'll just leave you and give you that substandard mark or just enough to get on with what you were doing. I worked hard. It was a struggle coming up with my stuff. And eventually I got my first class. But goodness, it was so difficult. Okay, gonna have to park the conversation a bit. Bitch. What just happened there? I need to get some hot water. I'm already late. I'm already late. Hello. Is it possible to get some hot water, please? I need to dilute my tea. The dispenser's not working.
It's not. Okay, great.
May I have a jug of hot water?
No,
I
we
drink.
will not give a jug of hot water.
I had some yesterday and the day before. I'm very responsible. That's why I went to eat there alone because she had already told me I'm going to keep this in the.
We'll give you a jug of hot water. Not give you a jug. So I can add hot water to this if you want.
You can, but then I'm trying to have more fluid. Instead of coming back out here to keep on filling it up, I'd like to weaken my
I
teeth.
do understand, but like I said, we cannot give you hot water.
What can I say? Oh, can you give me 2 cups, please? At least. No. Okay. Okay. So I've just been alerted. They want my husband to come here first before they let me out of here. But I'm not alone. I'm a free person. I go out. I go shopping. I attend the job center. I'm very capable of doing things independently. So them keeping me here, I've already expressed that my property is at stake. Please, could you check what's the update, the progress with my appeal, please? Because my property is at stake. The company I'm co-owning
They
my
will
property
send
with.
us an update.
Please check the email, please. Because the company I own the property with, we're already struggling with the communication. It's not doing me any good being here. I need to be out there making money to pay them. I'll check with you. There's people by the door. Okay. So where were we? Okay, I can carry it. You know what time the doctor's coming? You know what time the doctor's coming?
No, they're still in one round. So when they're finished,
Have you found anything?
we just go downstairs.
There's no emails, nothing. Sorry, I was going to take this back to my room. But, okay. It's a good thing I'm carrying my stuff around. The girl who bumped into me yesterday, she was actually being just passive aggressive, but being quite obvious. Apparently, she was looking for someone to beat up. So, because the earlier situation was quite scary for me, I just became a target again. So, not making it obvious on my part made her whisper down she's not scared. Earlier, it was the other Asian-looking girls, mixed-race guys. They were not attacking me, but they were demanding what they wanted, their attention. But it scared me. It still scared me. Tempers were flaring up. And she was sitting there, quietly observing. But I don't know what's going on now. There shouldn't be a personal vendetta with anyone here. I don't know. I don't even know who the person is. I've never met them before. It's just a situation in here. Like I've said to doctors, patients in here can be very desperate, very demanding, volatile, erratic. And I've said over and over, I shouldn't be here. Because I'm not in crisis. I don't need anyone to teach me how to wash and dress. I don't think that's what this ward is about anyway. They've all been whispering, I don't know why they put you on here. This is the most violent ward. So, apparently, do you know what? Even if there was no space on Kalo where I was before, Kalo people too held back for quite a while. Just before they let me out, they started to get quite erratic. The girls got territorial. They were tired of pretending. They were quite tired of pretending. Not to be violent, not to be this and that. Another girl showed me her scars. You don't have to say much else. I'm a healthcare clinician myself. I'm still registered. I'm just not practicing. I'm pursuing other ways. It's scary being here. When you're being paid for the role, when you're here for the role and you're trained for it, you have to prepare yourself mentally to be here. The approach of an independent team is to ambush. So far, I've not known otherwise. I've not known other mental health patient to be sitting down and discussing how has it happened for you and so on. I don't think I want to be educated on that sort of level. I don't want to work with mental health nurses on this level. I had my experience when I was just a support worker. The mental health nurses set me in the office for quite some time after I got beaten up. I don't think I was supported enough to be able to get the courage to come back. I just decided, no, I can't do it. I was already learning how, if something happens, the procedures, the processes that you go through to be able to come back to work and stuff. The whole thing about work-life balance, support yourself, vocations. We used to discuss all those things when I was a student. What do you do to support yourself? How do you stress relief? It was a very important part of the interviews. They ask people about faith. They ask people about what they do in their leisure time. So for me, and for most nurses actually, I think it becomes a part of your fabric. You start to look at how you take care of yourself, because nursing is almost like a full-time job. You go home, sometimes you're dreaming about it. Sometimes you're still thinking about it. You remember, oh, those notes, I have to go and check. Did I sign? That patient was asking me for this. Did I hand it over? Sometimes you have the opportunity to go back to the same ward and you do the same thing. Sometimes by the time you go back, maybe the patient has been discharged. Now you're thinking, was everything okay? Okay. If it's okay, it's okay. Thank goodness. If it's not okay, those notes are kept for 25 years. But the person will not be discharged if it's not okay. So maybe you still have an opportunity to just check in on your patient. Okay, they've been transferred to another ward. You can still go there and just check the patient. Is everything okay? Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you have to just talk to your manager. Oh, this happened. Reflection time. You have to have reflection time. You have to have a break. While you're reflecting, that's the time to be looking at your list. Was this done? Was this done? Da, 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 da. Anyway, that's from my experiences, what I was taught, what I used to do. Sometimes, maybe general and mental health can be different. Now it's like I'm back at work. I'm reflecting on what the NMC has taught me. I'm not here to judge the nurses here. But unfortunately, those few moments have been out there. The nurses already picked up body language. They heard her intention. They just got the confirmation that I'm at risk here. I tried to come back. The kitchen is closed. I tried to come back with my plates. And she stood in the doorway. When I said, excuse me, and I passed by, she said something. I don't think she was speaking to the nurse who was sitting opposite her, because it was kind of profane. I just thought, oh, wow. I didn't respond. I just walked away. I've spoken with the nurse who refused to give me that what I asked for. So I told him I'm a responsible adult. I can handle it. But anyway, maybe fortunately he hasn't given me, because that girl started tiptoeing around me. And I wanted to bring the plates back here so that next time when we're called there, that's when I bring back the plates instead of walk around with them. I just realized, even though I've got plastic knives there, this girl is tiptoeing around me aggressively. Now I was struggling to think, what do I do with these knives? So I just told them that, okay, I want to take this place back to my room. And then the nurse just said, no, it's okay, just leave it there. Because she's already decided, if you just leave the knife there, I'm going to get it. She's actually looking for a fight. Anyway. No, I don't want to talk about what I was talking about before. I just got the evidence that I don't even need the evidence. It's just, it's already been a plan. The nurse also checked the email. What time is it now? 13:21. The doctor said I'll be back in the afternoon. Apparently they're on the ward round. Nothing's happened yet. So we'll see. Let me end this. No result on the appeal. No response about when I can leave. I've told them my property is at stake, please. The company I co-own my property with is on edge. They want to know when I'm going to start activating the payments. Me, I want to know when I can leave so that I can start making payments. Because I have to go and get money when I'm out there.